Welcome and happy day. Again, I'm talking about Canada today. The prime mistake of Canada, he is single-handedly trying to destroy the whole country, and I think he might succeed. We have to stop this somehow. He's a globalist. He's all about queers and steers, and the guy is, again, destroying the nation that we all love. Wow. Stand up, yell from the rooftops, do something. This guy is totally out of control. He's about as solid as a soup sandwich. He has just no business experience whatsoever. Basically, he's an unemployed drama teacher, and you know what? He has the intellectual depth of a puddle on a flat surface. We have to save the country. And the only way you can do that is to get rid of him. He gives money away every hour to somebody. He gives money to terrorists. He gives money to other countries. Billions of dollars Canadians are getting pounded. The economy is upside down. It's starting to crash, and it is going to crash, and we are going to lose our life as we know it. Fix this mess. Somebody's got to fix it. Liberals, and that's him. He's a liberal, and he's got some people that follow him. That shocks me. Wow, the Pied Piper, I don't know how that happens. In any event, he has people that do work with him. They have targets. All they talk about is gender, bathrooms, and queers and steers, as I've already said. That's it. Nothing about the economy, nothing about Canadians. Let's help people in other countries. Targets. They have targets on increasing gender-focused international aid. The Canadian International Development Platforms, it's called the CIDP, they talk about, again, greater focus, rigor, and innovation are needed to meet these targets in other nations. And this development minister goes on to say, hey, feminist international assistance policies have significantly helped other countries, and we're working at it, and we have to include a sexual and reproductive health right program for women. We need to empower women and people of other mixed up genders. Canadians are hungry. They don't have work anymore. They don't have any money. What are you bloody doing? Let's stop that. Justin Trudeau, when he was recently in Edmonton, he stood up in front of everybody, and here's what he said, talking about genders. All he does is talk about genders all of the time. And let me correct myself. This is an Edmonton newspaper that I'm reading. He wasn't in Edmonton, he was in Argentina at the G20 thingamadoo, whatchamacallit. And he says, I want to talk to all of you people about gender impacts when you bring construction workers into a rural area. Firstly, the guy's never had a job in his life. Construction in a rural area, he's never been to a rural area, probably. What is he talking about? Here's exactly what he said. Verbatim, here it comes. This is a man that runs a country, okay? So there's all sorts of shifts we're making because we know that you cannot succeed as a society if you're holding back half of your population. I wasn't aware we were doing that. And looking at all the different barriers of moving forward and reducing them and eliminating them, as well as a government body, looking at how different decisions can have an impact on women in a positive or a negative way. Even big infrastructure projects, might now say, well, what does a gender lens have to do with building this new highway and this new pipeline or something? Are you embarrassed yet? If you're a Canadian, it'll come to you shortly. Well, there are gender impacts when you bring construction workers into a rural area. There are social impacts because they're mostly male construction workers. How are you adjusting and adapting to those? That's what the gender lens budgeting is all about. These are all things that we've been doing. I can't make this stuff up. Not to be nice, not to be better, or not to be moral, but to be smart about getting women and the very best out of all of our citizens and the best for our economy, because entrepreneurs tend to make better choices than others. We've seen it study after study. I don't know what he said. I think he's saying that women are supposed to work equal to men. I guess women don't have babies anymore. I don't know. I guess they're all strong like men. I don't know that either. Dumb. Go run the country. People need to work now. I could go on and on. Now, it does seem to rub off, though. Now we have in Prince Edward Island, this is now a law. This is really embarrassing. We now have 2 new gender options on driver's licenses in PEI that allow people to keep their gender identity to themselves. So you now have the option of saying gender not listed, prefer not to say, or you can join the existing male and female options, or you can, of course, use other. This is an important step in advancing equal human rights for everyone. Well, firstly, it's not equal rights because now everybody can just say, I won't tell you, and now you'll never know if they're male or female. Hopefully you can figure it out when you see them in the car, you being a policeman, and you put your window down, please. Aha, you're a nobody. I actually am. I'm a somebody. Well, what sex are you? Oh, you're an it. I get it. And then you have Peers Alliance, and they applaud this action by the government to intentionally recognize trans and non-binary identities in the public process. Well, hold it now. They're not recognized because you're allowed to say that you're nothing. You're no longer a person. This bloody world is upside down. Then you have a guy the name of Ryan Murphy in the U.S. He works on a Glee and American Horror Story and Posse or Pose or something like that, however you would say it. And he now has a new campaign to initiate to oust anyone who doesn't like gay incumbents or people, I guess, with regard to the incumbents from Congress. And he says, I'm going to create and fund with corporate sponsorship a multi-million-dollar organization that targets anti-gay candidates running for office. You got to, these bad politicians, they have to stop polluting our moral and ethical ether. I think what he's saying, he's a Democrat, obviously, what he's saying is, you have to think exactly like me. I used to be about acceptance, it's now about conversion. What's with all of these gay people? I mean, good bloody grief. They just keep on every day. Go be gay. Leave us alone. Shut up. Stop talking about it. I mean, they're getting 99% of the press time, and they're maybe 1% of the population. I don't care what. Go marry a bale of hay. Just don't bring it to my house. You're telling me I don't have that right, because that's what that last guy is saying. You must embrace our lifestyle and tell us that you love us and have a love fest. Well, I don't. I'm homophobic. I'm also liberal-phobic. So what? I'm allowed to be that, aren't I? We all should be allowed to kind of have our own thing and to do what we want to do, so leave us alone. Hey, you all come back here tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.